Howdy. With this video, I want to go over Turnitin. Turnitin is our plagiarism detector that we use at Northeast State, and it functions through D2L. I want to show you how that works, and hopefully I'm going to use it more as a tool than as a plagiarism detector. You should be looking at these reports before you turn in your final copy, see what it's saying about your essay, and make sure you're using sources correctly. It functions through the D2L Dropbox. So if you go over to assignments, and you see this little paper and binocular thing next to a folder, it's saying that the plagiarism detector Turnitin is enabled. You kind of see if you want to go back and look at the responses, you can look at the reports there. But you're going to see the report under submissions here. You got to click on that number. I don't have anything because I didn't turn anything in. And when you scroll down, you're going to see this Turnitin similarity. I can't submit things as an instructor, but you're going to see a little color-coded box with a percentage sign. And what Turnitin is saying is this percent of your essay has already been submitted by somebody else prior, and take a look at it and see what's going on there. But we're working with literature. You're not the first students to deal with A Rose for Emily or Good Country People or any of these short stories. So you're going to get something on the plagiarism detector. And it might be in the 20%, it might be in the 30%, and you want to go and make sure you're doing everything correctly. And again, you want to do this before you turn in your final copy. I want to show you what it looks like on my side. It's going to take a second. Yep. Going to look at a class from fall 2018 who's doing the same assignment you are. So when I go to a Dropbox folder, go to essay 1 down here. This is what I'm going to see. Just going to see all these percentages. Again, with this essay, 20, 30%, that's kind of normal. Start getting 40, 50%, that might get a little high, but you want to kind of see what's going on there. One thing that stands out to me is this 8%. That's kind of low. Maybe she's not using quotes. I think she used the black box, which is not totally in Turnitin yet. It will be in a couple of years. Well, look at our report. Author's a good writer here. You gotta be patient. It has to do a little ... thing. But when you come up, you're gonna start noticing some highlighting. Oh, I got the filter turned on. Hold on. There we go. If you click on the little number sign, it'll show you where it's saying other information. This information has come from before you turn yours in. It's not a bad thing. You're not the first ones to talk about existentialism. She's not the first one to talk about good country people. So it's nothing to panic about as long as you're doing what you're supposed to. It's highlighting her quotes. Sometimes it'll highlight your last name or your page number. It can get a little silly sometimes, but you want to take a look at the quotes. She's quoted accurately. She's cited it. There's nothing wrong with that quote, right? Same thing down here. It's another quote. It's cited properly. Just means somebody else has used that quote before her in an essay somewhere in the world, which is like, well, okay. Here it's getting a little interesting because she has those ellipses that show an omission to a quote. So plagiarisms have a hard time identifying exactly where that might have come from before because she's modified the quote a little bit. But everything that's highlighted is cited and quoted. There's nothing wrong with what's happening in this essay. She's not, the phrase good country people, the short story title is not something she's plagiarizing. This little line here is kind of interesting. It's kind of saying somebody else has used that phrase before. But it's not that unusual of a phrase. Might have been easily been used by another student at UC Boulder. But obviously not deliberate plagiarism or anything like that. And again, just highlighting your quotes. They're all cited, formatted correctly. The plot is not something she's plagiarizing. So some of it's you're gonna be like, that's kind of silly. It's like, well, yeah, but it's doing the best it can there. And you want to just kind of look through and make sure nothing looks wrong with what you're doing. If it's highlighting a whole section and you don't have that cited, that's a problem. Maybe you thought you were doing a quote and you didn't format it properly. Maybe you thought you were doing a summary or paraphrase and you didn't put it in your own words and sentence structure. That's where you start running into problems where sections highlighted, it's not cited, and all of a sudden, what's going on there, right? Where does this information come from? Um, Particularly as students start getting on Schmoop or sheetessays.com and cutting and pasting, that's where you start getting these highlights and no citations and turn it in and kind of pointing out like, hey, this came from somewhere. It should be highlighting your works cited page probably. Nothing wrong with that. Just means somebody else has used the source before you and put it on a works cited page, right? And she's not the first one to use good country people out of our textbook in an essay in the universe. So pretty good, 22%. May sound kind of high at first, but there's nothing wrong going on with that essay. Looks good. Sometimes when you get into the 30%, that might mean somebody's using long quotes. Again, you just want to make sure they're formatted properly, cited, and it doesn't mean you're plagiarizing anything at all. So when you first get the number, it might be like, but you want to kind of take a look at the report. Again, if something looks kind of weird and you're not quite sure why it's highlighting something, you can contact me, and you want to do that before you turn in your final copy, right? So hopefully that's the kind of tool this is. It's kind of helping you write better essays and making sure you're not getting in trouble with plagiarism. But wanted to show that to you. It's kind of an interesting tool, and there's other ways we could use it too if we want to. But I want to show you where it was and how it works, and not to panic when you first see your number there. But we'll talk to you later. Bye bye.